morning, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, Spanish interpreter. The interpreter has not been sworn.
All right, let's swear in the interpreter.
Do you solemnly swear to translate from English to Spanish, from Spanish to English to the best of your ability?
Yes, I do. Laura Bretaña, certified Spanish interpreter.
Thank you.
Taylor Fleming on behalf of the Office of the State Attorney.
Letitia George on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender. And Your Honor, could we see Alicia Rivera as well? I believe they both were arrested to see if they would like contact.
Are we able to pull up defendant, is it Glary Lee, Alicia Rivera?
Yes, I already told this. I think she's grabbing.
Sí.
There is contact, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, good morning, sir. State your name, please.
José Enrique Paul Troncoso.
Jose Enrique Paul Troncoso.
Sir, you're here for initial appearance, case 22 CF 9831. You were arrested for aggravated battery on a pregnant person. Based on your application for the public defender, appears you make too much money to qualify for the public defender at this time. Okay. And standing next to you, ma'am, what's your name, please? All right, Miss Alicia Rivera. Okay. I see you're listed as the victim of the charge of aggravated battery on a pregnant person. If Mr. Is it Taran? If he's released, do you want to have contact with him, or do you want him to stay away from you?
No, I can have contact with him.
Okay. Are you in fear of him?
No, I'm not.
State, do you have any questions regarding that?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, thank you, ma'am. State, you have a position on bond on Mr. Troncoso?
Your Honor, state we just asked for a reasonable bond. It doesn't appear that he has other violent convictions.
I'm going to set the bond at $1,500. I'm going to order that you have no hostile contact with Miss Alicia Rivera, that you possess no weapons or firearms, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Okay. And we're also we'll go ahead and address Miss Glary Alicia Rivera. All right, ma'am, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for a domestic violence battery where Mr. Troncoso is listed as the victim. I will appoint the public defender to represent you, ma'am. Okay. And sir, Sir, if she's released, do you want to have contact with her, or do you want her to stay away from you?
Alejada de mí.
Away from me.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
Alejada de mí.
I want her away from me.
Away from you, okay. All right. All right, state, do you have a position on bond?
If she qualifies for PTR, state has no objection.
Defense?
I would ask for pretrial release, Your Honor.
All right. So I'll release you, ma'am, on pretrial release, but I am going to order that you have no contact. So it appears that y'all are going to have no contact with each other.
Okay.
Okay. You're to maintain separate residence, and I'm looking and I see there's separate addresses already. So maintain separate residence, no contact, no weapons, and no alcohol or illegal drugs. Thank you. Good morning. Your name, please?
Luigi Manuel Moronta Moreno.
Luigi Emanuel Morante Moreno.
Sir, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested on a Leon County warrant. Case is 2020 MM 1269.
Sí.
On a charge of criminal mischief. The bond is set at $500. If you're able to, you can bond out here in Orange County. You'll be released with Leon County court dates.
¿Y cómo,
If you're unable to post bond, they'll notify Leon County, and Leon County will come get you within 72 hours.
pero una pregunta, pero cuando ellos fueron a mi casa, los policías, nunca me dieron un papel de que yo tenía corte.
I have a question. When the police came to my house, they never gave me any document that stated that I had a court date.
Okay. All I know is there's an active warrant. I don't know anything more than that.
Y para yo prestar, y para, ¿cómo yo puedo pagar entonces? Porque no-
And then how can I pay?
You can post a bond downstairs or contact a bondsman.
Ok, ¿me puedo comunicar con un fiador?
May I speak to a bond agency?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Ok.
Okay.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Madam Interpreter, I think that's all we have. We've got a Portuguese we're going to call language line.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Zero, 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 903.
Morning, sir. State your name, please.
Shelton P. Donald.
Mr. Donald, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for city ordinance violation, open container. Okay. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You've got a $250 bond.
Your Honor, state did convey an offer to Mr. Donald of an adjudication credit time served.
I'd like to accept and enter a plea of no contest.
Okay. All right. All right, Mr. Donald, I'm handed a plea form indicating you wish to plead no contest to the open container charge. You'd be adjudicated guilty and be given credit for the 3 days you served in jail. That'll resolve your case. Is that what you want?
Yes, sir.
Okay, holding up the plea form. It's got your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
Did you have a chance to read, review, and understand it before you signed it?
I understood very clearly.
Okay. To that charge, open container, how do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept that. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for 3 days. I'll give you 350 days to get the cost paid, 30 days to appeal. You'll be processed and released today. All right?
Thank you, Judge.
Good luck.
Your Honor, as far as Ms. Parsons, which is next, I'm just gonna waive the appearance. It appears, It appears she may have mental health issues, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then I'll stay the bond on the trespass. I'll appoint the public defender. Bond will be stayed at 500. I'll take no action on the PTR.
Judge, what was the reason for them not being present?
Behavior. The, let's see. Yeah, on the, reconsidering, on the original, the pretrial release that she was out on, I'm gonna, it looks like she had been released and she'd never shown up. So I'm gonna revoke that pretrial release. I'll set a bond in that case at $500 also.
Thank you.
Okay.
On your next case for Joseph Barron, his refusal.
And I will waive, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, State, do you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, he is entitled to a bond, given that it is only an attempt. However, state would ask that you take into account that he also does have another case, a bad TV. I do believe it is the same victim. And Mr. Baron's history is pretty extensive. At least 6 prior failures to appear, so state's concerned regarding his ability to show and willingness to show back up to court, given the gravity of the charges and his refusal to be in court today. His last conviction was this year, also for false imprisonment DV and a kidnapping. I will check the victim on that case. However, he has a pretty lengthy history of violent offenses and offenses against the same victim. So state would ask that you take all that into account when setting his bond.
Defense?
Your Honor, I just ask that you set a bond in this case.
We got 2 cases. We got the battery.
And it is the same victim, Your Honor, in both cases. Elizabeth Vaught. What did I see? And he has a 2021 misdemeanor bat DV. The victim being Ms. Vaught. That was a dismissal, I believe. He also had a 2021 kidnapping with intent to inflict harm, false imprisonment, felony battery, violation of PTR, and dating violence. That was from 2021. Victim being Ms. Vaught, the current victim.
On the, in 22 mm 422 AW, the battery from July, I'm going to set the bond, $2,500, order no contact with the victim. 22 CF 9793, attempted second-degree murder, I'm going to set the bond at $100,000. Aggravated battery, I'll set the bond at 1,000. The aggravated assault, 1,000. False imprisonment, 1,000. I'm going to order absolutely no contact with the victim, possess no weapons or firearms.
Your Honor, state would also ask for a no return to her work or place of, or home.
I think in reading the affidavit, they were living separate. But yeah, these to have absolutely no contact with her. I don't believe they have a shared residence anymore.
Yes, Your Honor, that's why state would ask for a no return to her home.
Oh, yes, not, that, no contact means don't return to the victim's residence.
Maurice Davis was recusal.
I will waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender in that case. I did on the previous case also. Okay. Okay, we got a couple cases on Maurice Davis. Oh, these are stuck together. All right, State, what's your position on bond on Mr. Davis?
Your Honor, state would ask for a reasonable bond. His last failure to appear was several years ago. His last conviction was several years ago. And it appears his history is mostly drug-related, not violent-related, so state would just ask for a reasonable bond.
Defense?
I would just echo the same thing.
Yeah, reviewing the affidavit, I'll set the bond at $500. Order no victim contact, maintain separate residence. Return one time with law enforcement, escorting him to get personal belongings, not to return alone. Possess no weapons or firearms, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs.
And I believe the second case is his as well. I believe it's his AKA.
Is that Kelvin Reese also? Yeah, okay. And on Kelvin Reese,
Failure to appear.
it's a failure to appear. I'll stay the bonds on the cocaine, 1,000, resisting without 100, and paraphernalia, 100. Public defenders appointed both cases.
Your Honor, Holly McNulty is mental health.
I will also waive the appearance, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the public defender, state your position on bond.
Your Honor, state would just ask for a reasonable bond. She does have at least 2 prior bat DV arrests, however, not convictions.
And Your Honor, I would just ask that you consider the facts of the case. It appears her mother was explaining that once she's not taking her methadone, she can become aggressive. So I just ask that you consider that when setting the bond, as well as a one-time return with law enforcement.
All right. I'll set the bond at $1,000. I'm going to order that she have no contact with her, appears to be her mother. Maintain separate residence, one-time return with law enforcement, and possess no weapons or firearms, consume no alcohol or unprescribed medication.
Your Honor, there were 2 charges.
I only have one. I'm sorry, and on the second battery, I'll set the bond at $100. I'm sorry. Morning, sir. Your name, please? Mr. Mosby, you're here for initial appearance. Been arrested for a battery by strangulation. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. State, do you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, state would just ask for a reasonable bond. It doesn't appear he has any other violent history. However, he does have a active warrant out of Texas. The state would ask that you take that into account.
Defense?
Your Honor, I just asked for a reasonable bond and a one-time return with law enforcement.
All right, I will, I'll set the bond at $1,500. I'm going to order that you have no contact with, is that Abarame Blake?
Ibrahim Blake.
Okay, no contact with her, maintain a separate residence.
I asked for a one-time contact order to go because we live together in the same house, so I have to go get my stuff.
That's it. I was about to say that. So You can return one time with law enforcement escorting you to get your personal belongings. You're not to have any contact with her. Otherwise, don't go back there alone. No contact means no contact. It appears that Department of Children and Families was contacted, so if you're contacted, you need to cooperate with any investigation. Order that you possess no weapons or firearms, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. All right. Good luck, sir. Morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
First name Katina, Katina. Samaria, Samarija.
All right, ma'am, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State, you have a position on bond.
Your Honor, state would just ask for a reasonable bond. It doesn't appear she has any other criminal history. And apparently DCF was also called in this one.
Yes, Your Honor, I would just ask that you consider the fact that she has no criminal history, and she's also currently on Social Security income when setting the bond, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set the bond at $500. I am going to order that you have no contact with Pedro Colon, that you maintain a separate residence from him. If he's residing at that Dockside Drive address, you're going to have to live somewhere else. You can return one time with law enforcement to get personal belongings. You're not to go back there alone, not to have contact with him. If he doesn't live there, that's fine. But if he does live there, you have to live somewhere else. Possess no weapons or firearms. Okay, understand, ma'am, you've got the right to remain silent. You should probably run it by the attorney before you say something to me.
Thank you.
Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Jarvis Tarver.
Mr. Tarver, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant. Charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, false imprisonment, and battery. Domestic related. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in the case. State you have a position on bond.
Your Honor, there is a victim present.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't look up. Okay. Let's swear in the witness, please.
Yes, ma'am. Clifton Hill.
All right, sir, if Mr. Tarver's released on bond, do you want to have contact with him or do you want him to stay away from you?
Contact.
Okay. Are you in fear of him?
No.
All right, State, do you have any questions for the witness?
Has anything like this ever happened before?
No, it was just the reason the cops was called was the apartment complex. It was literally something that we could have handled indoors, but
So nothing like this ever happened before?
no.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. State, you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, state would just ask for a reasonable bond. It appears his last conviction was approximately a month and a half ago. However, it doesn't appear he has any other violent convictions.
Defense would just ask that you set a reasonable bond, Your Honor.
All right. It appears that he's currently on felony probation. All right, I'm going to set the bond, count one, is set at 2,500. I'll stay that. The false imprisonment, I'll set at 500. The battery, I'll set at 500. After reviewing the affidavit, I'm going to order no contact. Maintain a separate residence. And I expect that the violation of probation is going to come down pretty quick, but that's not today. Possess no weapons or firearms, absolutely no contact. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Christopher White, living man.
All right, Mr. White, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for battery by strangulation and a battery, both domestic related. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. We also have a second case of battery, separate case number. I'm going to appoint the public defender in both cases. State, do you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, it is the same victim in both cases, the warrant and the new case, Mr. Blake, I believe. And state would just have to take that into account and set a reasonable bond, given it doesn't appear that Mr. White has had a conviction in at least 8 years, and all of his history seems to be drug-related.
Defense?
Your Honor, the same. I just ask that you take into consideration how long it's been since his last conviction, and it's mostly drug-related.
All right, I'll set the bond on the first case, the warrant. On the strangulation, I'll set the bond at $1,500. Count two at $500. I'm going to order no contact with the victim, maintain a separate residence. You can return one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. You're not to go back there alone. You're not to have any contact with her.
Can I say something or no?
Well, I've appointed you an attorney. You got the right to remain silent. So you probably should say it to the attorney before you say it out loud on the record. I'm ordering that you maintain a separate residence from her. So if she lives there, you're going to have to live somewhere else.
What if I've been the one living there?
That's not for me to decide today. I'm not telling you where to live. I'm not telling her where to live. I'm just telling you, you can't live with her.
Right.
That's all.
Righteous.
So if for example, if that's an apartment, if she's not on the lease, then call the leasing, the front office and say, listen, she's not supposed to be living there. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying you can't live with her. So those are issues to be, but if you call her and say you got to get out, you're going to be in violation of the court's order. All right? Just want to make sure you understand that. So no contact with her, possess no weapons or firearms, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. The second, domestic violence battery, it'll be a $500 bond with the same conditions.
Just a quick question. On the warrant, they have do not return. Do you want me to take it off and just leave it?
So that's what.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good luck, sir. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
My name Chavis Morso.
All right, sir, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a battery. It appears that based on your affidavit for the appointment of public defender, you make too much money to qualify for the public defender at this point. State, you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, state would just ask for a reasonable bond.
Sorry, I can't hear. I'm sorry.
She said just a reasonable bond. It appears that you qualify for pretrial release. State, do you object to pretrial release?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, sir, I'm going to release you on pretrial release, so you don't have to post a monetary bond with the following conditions: that you have no contact, appears with your mother, Krista Lewis, and that you maintain a separate residence from her. So if she's living at that Ravinia Drive address, you're going to have to live somewhere else. You're not going to be able to live with her
Yes, sir.
if that's where she lives. So no contact with her, maintain a separate residence. You can return there one time, but you have to be escorted by law enforcement. Don't go back there alone. Don't have contact with her. All right? Good luck, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Miguel Valverde.
Mr. Valverde, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant. Charges of battery, it's domestic related, violation of a pretrial release on a domestic case, and violation of an injunction. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
If I may, Mr. Valverde currently does have a 22 misdemeanor non-arrest violation of a domestic injunction stalking DV case open. This case, he had a prior 22 misdemeanor stalking DV. That case was closed with the victim being unwilling to prosecute. He had a 22 bat by strangulation DV, bat DV. Again, same victim. It was closed with the victim being unwilling to prosecute. So just ask that you take that into account when setting his bonds.
You said he has open case?
Non-arrest.
Oh, that's why. I was like, I'm not seeing it.
You've got an open charged case? Okay. Is it the same victim?
Miss Davis, yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Okay.
We believe we just got it yesterday. Date of incident was August 8th and 7th.
Okay. All right, and defense, do you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, I would just ask for a reasonable bond. I don't see any type of convictions on his record, no failures to appear. He has a community tie, so I just ask that you consider all of that when setting his bond.
All right, I'll set the bond on the battery, $2,500. Count 2, 500, count 3, 500. Sir, I'm going to order that you have absolutely no contact with appears to be your ex-wife, Maurice Davis. Understand that if you violate the court's order, expect to be back in here and be held on no bond.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So absolutely no contact with her. Appears you already maintain a separate residence, that you possess no weapons or firearms. Contact means direct contact and indirect contact.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Your Honor, state would ask for to comply with the injunction.
And that's goes along with complying with the injunction and all those conditions contained therein.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, good luck. Morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Crystal
My
Ivy?
name is Crystal Maria Ivy.
Thank you, Miss Ivy. Miss Ivy, you're here on a, on a initial appearance. You were arrested on a Palm Beach County warrant for a violation of probation. All right. looks like the charge was improper exhibition of a dangerous weapon. The bond on the violation of probation is set at none. So they're going to contact Palm Beach County, tell them you're here, they'll come get you within 72 hours.
Oh, I have to go back to Palm Beach County?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good luck. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Alfonso Knight.
Mr. Knight, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for a Polk County warrant, violation of probation on, looks like the original was racketeering charge. The bond is set at none. So they're going to notify Polk County that you're here. They'll come get you within 24 hours. Okay, good luck.
Your Honor, Douglas Mull refused.
Mr. Mull,
I will waive, Your Honor.
okay, it's a Osceola County warrant with no bond. So we'll just notify Osceola County and they'll to come pick them up.
Arthur Palmer also refused, Your Honor.
Okay.
No, we'll waive.
And Mr. Palmer is a Duval County warrant with no bond. So we'll notify Duval County to come get him. Morning, your name, please?
Rosario Williams Curtis.
All right, ma'am, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested on a Seminole County warrant. Looks like on a failure to appear for no motor vehicle registration and operating a motor vehicle with a suspended license or revoked license. The bond is set a total at $526, 263 times 2, 526. So if you're able to, you can post bond here in Orange County and be released. And they'll give you court dates for this next Seminole County case. Or if you're unable to post the bond, they'll notify Seminole County. They'll come get you within 24 hours.
Gratitude.
Okay. All right. Good luck.
Your Honor, Scott Dole is a refusal.
And I will waive, Your Honor.
Mr. Doyle, this is a on-view violation. Possession of cocaine. Court finds probable cause. So I'll stay the bond at none on the on-view violation. Good morning. Your name, please?
Eric Delaney.
Sir, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a violation of community control. Here's your own community control for a failure to, looks like change your address on your license. I'll appoint the public defender. The bond is set at none. So we've got multiple, I'm sorry. There's multiple failures to comply. Change the address, remaining your residence during hours. We've got August 4th, August 5th, August 6th, August 8th, August 9th, and failing to submit to electronic monitoring on those multiple days. So the bond is set at none. I've appointed the public defender. All right. Good luck, sir.
Your Honor, Melissa Fisher is mental health.
And I will waive, Your Honor.
All right. On Mr. Fisher, it's a no bond warrant on a violation of probation. I'll appoint the public defender. Stay the bond at none.
Jeremy Polson is behavior.
And I will waive, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Polson, violation of probation, no bond warrant. I'll appoint the public defender. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Ernest Smith.
Mr. Smith, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for a violation of probation. You were on probation for burglary and grand theft. Allegations that you violated your probation are that you committed new offensive dealing in stolen property, January of this year, and also receiving money from a pawnbroker and grand theft. Okay. Bond on the warrant is set at none. Okay, I'll appoint the public defender. Good luck, sir. Morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Miranda Taran.
Ms. Turner, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for violation of probation. I'll appoint the public defender. You were on probation for, looks like felony petty theft, and that you violated by failing to report back in June and July, failed to complete impulse control class. The bond is set at none on the violation. Good luck. Morning, your name, please?
It's Kelsey Harris.
Mr. Harris, you're here for initial appearance. All right, you were arrested for a violation of probation. You were on probation for a domestic violence battery. Allegations that you violated are that you committed a new battery, that you failed to complete your community service hours, and failed to complete your cognitive behavioral change program as ordered. Bond is set at none. Do you want me to appoint an attorney to represent you in this case?
Yes.
Okay, I'll appoint the public defender. Just hang up and we'll call him back. We'll do it at the very end. Yeah, we'll try, we'll call, like 15 minutes before the second session. And that way you can just leave it, you don't have to hold it up to you, just put it on. Yeah, and then and if they answer, then just yell down the hall and I'll come run in. Okay? And she needs Portuguese also? Oh, they both do, okay. All right, well, gotta wait, I don't know.
15 minutes before.
Yeah, they just have to wait. So let's do the 33-day motions and then we'll just sit tight for the second session. Okay, I've got on 33-day motions, you ready, Sate?
Yes, Your Honor.
I've got 22 CF 7898 Rachel Gonzalez Maldonado.
Granted, notice non-filing.
That's granted. Got 22 CF 8226 Marquia Prince.
Your Honor, can we hear that one second session, please?
Second session.
Yes, please.
Okay. And next we've got Justin Polk, 22 CF 6837.
Granted, notice non-filing.
Next I've got 22 CF 5530 John Byron Terrell Rainey.
Granted, notice non-filing.
22 CF 8549 Gary Alexander Fort.
Granted, notice non-filing.
22 CF 8581, Demontrius DeForest Michael,
Denied, and information was filed.
denied. 22 CF 70 641, Richard DeVore Fisher,
Granted, notice and on filing.
will be granted. 22 CF 8526, Joshua Valley Martinez,
Granted, notice and on filing.
granted. 22 CF 8176, James Lamar Shorter,
Granted, notice and on filing.
granted. 22 CF 6360, Frank Cicini,
Granted, notice and on filing.
granted. Okay. All right, then we'll be in recess until 11. Yeah, just call 15 minutes before.
I'm gonna call for a second.
The trespass,
We don't have
you didn't make an offer on.
Thank you.
Only thing I could think of why you didn't make an offer is because, he just, led to a trespass on 822.
Yesterday, 2 days ago.
Right, so,
I called downtown.
instead of doing none, are you not willing to do, like, they'll do 5 days?
You would think that, I don't know.
I'll look back at it, but I'm not really sure.
I think that they would be able
Because
to.
usually that's what,
Taran,
Hold on a second, what am I looking at? All right, so I've been given something that refers to inmate Wilson.
Wilson, you took care of that yesterday.
I'm sorry, the email must have Wilson's name attached, but that's just
It does have Wilson's name attached, so that's not, okay? So it was Taran Aguilar.
Yes, sir.
And so what is being asked of me today?
Some court order, in order to release him, if we can get his real name put onto the court order to release him. Or if you're gonna accept that name, his real name.
Yes, I thought that we did. No, it was, the court order said John Doe.
Yes.
I think the court order should reflect his real name because it was placed on the record yesterday. So we'll just need to generate an amended order with his name, Taran Aguilar, Aguilar.
Aguilera.
Okay, a little bit different spelling. Okay, anything else we need to address with Mr. Aguilar?
No, sir.
Judge, this is Mr. Dennis Wilson who's up here. That was the one you called the John Doe.
So John Doe is not Mr. Wilson.
Oh, we got it mixed up? Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
No, someone gave me, I didn't
have
mix
Mr.
up
Dennis
anything.
Wilson standing to my left, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I have Mr. Dennis Wilson standing to my left right now.
Well, why do we have Dennis Wilson in the room?
We don't need him. You took care of him yesterday.
yeah, he's not NIA.
So someone, somewhere has confused the two individuals. Mr. Wilson is not needed today, but his name does appear on an email chain. So someone mixed up some individuals.
Your Honor,
along
that's
way.
the email that I received from the jail, and I just printed it out to identify to you that we were gonna put John Doe for IAs again today. That was the purpose of that.
Okay.
And Judge, if you mind speaking into the microphone, you're a little hard to hear here at the jail.
Yes, I rolled away from the bench while looking at the email. As I said, we're not addressing Mr. Wilson's case today. I don't know why the jail has juxtaposed Mr. Wilson and Mr. Aguilar. John Doe was Mr. Aguilar, and we are preparing an amended order that reflects Mr. Aguilar's name. and does not refer to him as John Doe. That's the only thing we're doing.
Okay, Mr. Aguilar is approaching now.
He does not need to approach. I have made the order, okay? Thank you, Mr. Aguilar. All right, let's jump into the cases. I have two cases for Calvin Drumright, 22 CF 2310, 22 CF 2381. Afternoon, Mr. Drumright. In these cases, warrants were issued for your arrest. There is probable cause. In case number 2310, you were arrested for the charge armed robbery with a firearm. There is no bond currently. State, is that a punishable by life offense?
I believe so, Judge.
All right, so bond will remain at 0 on that offense, and the division judge can address that. And case number 2381, sir, you're arrested on 3 charges. Count 1, armed robbery with a firearm. Count 2, grand theft. And count 3, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. There is no bond on count 1. On count 2, the bond is $5,000. On count 3, the bond is $10,000. Again, there's no bond on count 1 because it is a punishable by life offense. The division judge can address the issue of bond and conditions of bond in each case. At this time, I will order no contact with co-defendant Rochelle Louder. And no contact with the alleged victims. And additional conditions can be set by the division judge. Okay. Thank you, sir. Next, we have Damaris Barclay. This is case number 2019 CF 3459. Good afternoon, Mr. Barclay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Sir, you were arrested on a violation of probation charges. The state has alleged that you violated conditions 2, 3, 8, and 10 of the order of probation. There is no bond on your case at this time. Your status conference is going to be what date?
VOP arraignment is on August 29th, 8:45 a.m., courtroom 5F.
All right, so I'll be seeing you next week for arraignment on the 29th, and I'll set a status hearing at that time. Okay?
Your Honor, I was trying to maintain my employment, hoping I could get a bond and get out to keep working until I go to court.
Well, you'll have to address that with your public defender. I've provisionally appointed that office, okay? They'll need to file a motion, and I don't know whether I would be willing to grant a bond or not. We're not talking about bond today, though, okay? Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right, then the next case is Houston Laraquente. I apologize if I mispronounced the name, 21CT1022. Sir, how do you pronounce your name?
Houston Laraquente.
Okay, thank you. Sir, you were arrested on a violation of probation warrant issued by Judge Epperson. There is no bond on that. Does Mr. Laraquente have a upcoming court date?
He has a VOP arraignment September 1st, 8:05 a.m., courtroom 5B.
Okay, so you have an arraignment next week in front of Judge Epperson, sir, okay? Thank you. Then we have Josuan Lopez Ortiz.
Your Honor, I have that as a need for a Spanish interpreter case.
All right. This wasn't flagged as an interpreter case. Let me get an interpreter up.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter. I have been previously sworn.
Good afternoon, Mr. Barrera. I'm doing first appearances at the jail. I have an individual, Josuan Joel Lopez Ortiz. The first name is Josuan. Case number is 2019 CF 2543.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, you are here for first appearance.
Señor, usted se encuentra aquí para una comparecencia inicial.
You were arrested on a violation of probation warrant issued by Judge Nix Walker.
Usted fue arrestado mediante un orden de arresto por un cargo de incumplimiento de libertad vigilada emitido por la juez Nix Walker.
There is no bond because you are not eligible for a bond.
En este momento no tiene usted derecho a fianza.
The public defender has been provisionally appointed to represent you.
Las oficinas del defensor público han sido designadas de manera provisional para que lo representen.
You can hire private counsel if you wish.
Usted puede contratar a un abogado particular si usted lo desea.
If you qualify for appointed counsel, they will be appointed when you complete the required affidavit.
Si usted reúne requisitos para que se le designe un abogado, eso será designado tan pronto que complete la solicitud.
And I should say they will be appointed after you complete the affidavit if you qualify for court-appointed counsel.
Bueno, mejor dicho, se puede designar el abogado después que usted complete la solicitud, si es que usted reúne los requisitos.
And does Mr. Lopez Ortiz have a court date, Madam Clerk?
Secretario, el señor López Ortiz tiene fecha de comparecencia.
BOP arraignment, August 30th, 9 a.m., courtroom 5A.
Una vista de comparecencia por el cargo de incumplimiento de libertad vigilada el 30 de agosto, 9 de la mañana, en la sala 5A.
All right, thank you, sir.
Gracias, caballero.
Mr. Interpreter, can you ask whether there is anyone else at the jail who requires your assistance?
Certainly, Your Honor. Su atención, por favor, si hay alguna otra persona presente que necesite los servicios del intérprete, por favor, alce la mano en este momento.
We have Mr. Darrell Sierra Morales.
All right, I see that. Dariel Manuel Sierra Morales, 2020 MM 1158. Good afternoon, sir.
Buenas tardes, caballero. Good afternoon.
Sir, you were arrested on a warrant issued by Judge Epperson for failure to appear at a violation of probation arraignment.
Señor, usted fue arrestado debido a una orden de arresto que emitió el juez Epperson por falta de comparecencia en una vista incoatoria por un cargo de incumplimiento de libertad vigilada.
There is no bond at this time.
En este momento no tiene derecho a fianza.
And does Mr. Sierra Morales have a court date, Madam Clerk?
Secretario, el señor Sierra Morales tiene fecha de comparecencia.
BOP arraignment, September 1st, 8:05 a.m., courtroom 5B.
Una vista incoatoria por incumplimiento de libertad vigilada el día 1 de septiembre, 8:05 de la mañana, en la sala 5B.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Gracias, caballero.
Anyone else need the assistance of an interpreter?
¿Hay alguna otra persona que necesite los servicios del intérprete?
Looks like that's it, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Interpreter.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon.
You as well. All right. Keyshawn Mobley, 2022 CT 1367. All right. Mr. Mosley, or Mobley, rather, excuse me. Sir, you were arrested on a warrant issued by Judge Sanders Morency for failure to appear for pretrial conference. There is no bond set on your case. Does Mr. Mobley have a court date set?
Public defender pretrial, on October 4th, 8:15 a.m., courtroom 4A.
All right, so your next court date is October 4th. If your public defender needs to get you before Judge Sanders Morency before then, there'll be, you do not have a bond. They will get you in front of Judge Sanders Morency sooner if appropriate. Okay? Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, he inquired as to when he has the court date.
October 4th.
Thank you.
All right, Joseph Wyatt Moulton, 21 CF 1823.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Moulton. Sir, you were arrested on a violation of probation warrant that I issued. There is no bond. I believe, if memory serves, you are on this was a first-degree misdemeanor that you are on probation for. What is Mr. Moulton's next court date, Madam Clerk?
BOP arraignment, August 29th, 8:45 a.m., courtroom 5F.
All right, so I'll be seeing you next week for arraignment, Mr. Moulton.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, Rayvon Pierre, 2018 MM 3551. All right, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. Sir, you were arrested on a warrant issued over a year ago, actually, by Judge Savage for failure to appear for county diversion rejection. You do have a bond in the amount of $5,999. Does Mr. Pierre have a court date coming up, Madam Clerk?
Yes, he has a court date on September 15th, 8:15 a.m., quorum 4A.
Okay, your next court date is September 15th, sir.
I was going to ask if I could get my bond reduced.
Not today. Your attorneys can file a motion with Judge Sanders Morency regarding bond. Okay? She is who took over Judge Savage's division. All right, next up we have Roxanna White Porter Taran. This is case number 21MM2136. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
How do you pronounce your last name?
It's White Porter, Taran.
Taran?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if I was pronouncing that one correct. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, ma'am. You were arrested on a warrant issued by Judge Epperson for failure to appear at a violation of probation arraignment. There's no bond currently set. When is Ms. White Porter Taran's next court date?
September 1st, 8:05 a.m., courtroom 5B.
All right, so you have a hearing next week on September 1st, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Darius Williams. We have two case numbers for Mr. Williams, 22 CF 2437 and 21565 CF, which is Seminole County. Mr. Williams, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
So in the Osceola case, 22 CF 2437, you were arrested on the charge of possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine. There is probable cause, and your bond on that charge is $1,000 with the conditions that you may not possess or use drugs or narcotics without a valid prescription. In case number 21565, which is Seminole County case. You were arrested on a warrant out of Seminole County for violation of probation. There is no bond set in that case. It looks like that case is in front of Judge Gerner. So you will probably be transported to Seminole County to address the VOP. Does Mr. Williams have an upcoming date in the Osceola case?
No, sir, it's on demand.
All right, so there's no current date in either case, sir. Again, your bond is $1,000 in the Osceola case. There is no bond in the Seminole case, so you'll probably be taken to Seminole where you'll appear before Judge Gerner. You can talk to her about conditions of a bond or whatnot, okay? Thank you, sir. All right, then we have Juan Rodriguez Vasquez, 2022 CT 2815 and 2020 CT 2937. All right, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
I have a question for you, not related to your case, but do you have any information on what's going on with your stepdaughter?
Yeah, she's all right now.
Okay, so there are arrangements made for that?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, sir, you were arrested on a couple of things. In case number 22 CT 2815, you were arrested for operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. There was probable cause for that arrest. I'm going to, you don't qualify for direct pretrial release. I'm going to reduce that to ROR. In case number 2020 CT 2937, you were arrested for failure to appear at pretrial. Judge Onsavich, this was well over a year ago, almost a year and a half ago. Judge Onsavich set your bond at $2,000. All right, so that will be your bond in that case. Does he have a court date coming up in the county court matter?
For 22 CT 2815, if still in jail, jail Raymond, September 1st, 8:05 a.m., courtroom 5B. If out of jail, or Raymond, September 9th, 8:15 a.m., quorum 4A. For 20 CT 2937, pre-trial, October 3rd, 8:15 a.m., quorum 4A.
So what's the total bond?
The total bond is $2,000 for your oldest case.
Okay.
I granted you ROR in the new case.
You can't grant me ROR on the new one?
I did on the new one.
No, on the total thing.
I rarely do that, and I won't do that given that you knew that you had a warrant and it's been almost a year and a half.
Can I say just one thing, Your Honor?
Mr. Rodriguez, we're not here to talk about bond today.
No, I know, I understand. I just want to say that the situation with my daughter was explained to this judge. You know, it's a lot more going on than the information you have in front of you.
And so you need to talk to the public defender, and they can take that to Judge Sanders Morency, who's now in that division, okay?
Actually, Judge, I'd like something to be cleared up. He indicated he had a private attorney with us, so I'm not sure if
I'm trying to obtain a private
he's trying
Yeah.
to obtain, so.
Well, I don't know, but we're not, that's all we're doing today, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, and then Taylor Jackson, 22 MM 1910. Yeah, I saw. All right, Ms. Jackson, good afternoon. Ma'am, you were arrested for misdemeanor battery. There is probable cause for that arrest. Officer Jenkins, the cover sheet says there is other legal constraint. What is that about?
She have an open case in Polk County.
In Polk County, okay. Is she out on bond in that case, or what?
It doesn't show, was out on bond, and I think they didn't arrest her on it. But she's supposed to have showed up to court and she didn't.
All right, so is there a hold for her, or no? Do we know?
No, sir.
All right. So raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. So we're being recorded by a digital court reporter, so please state your name and spell it for the record.
Joshua Jewell, Joshua
All right, and Mr. Jewell, you're the listed victim in the arrest affidavit. So tell me what you would like for me to consider with regard to your relationship with Ms. Jackson, terms of release and things of that sort.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't want to press charges, and I do want contact with her. Like, it wasn't with, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't really nothing bad. It was just, to be honest with you, we're struggling out there on the streets. You know, she's got a kid back home she misses. We're going day by day, her phone's off. You know, we're struggling hard out there, sleeping on the streets, people stealing our IDs to where we can't even go to work. You know, so it was just one of them things. It was having a bad day. You know, she didn't do nothing I didn't consent to. She didn't hurt me. She didn't, you know, it was literally an accident.
So you're not afraid of Ms. Jackson?
No, I love that girl to death. And I really hope you release her today. 'Cause it sucks not having her there with me.
Do you know anything about this case in Polk County?
Yeah, she got arrested for it. It was a case that I took the charge for a long time ago. It was about almost a year ago. We was camping in a tent and didn't know it was private property. I took the charges. There was some other charges with it. I took the charges. She was supposed to leave. She was real tired. She had a lot of stuff to take with her. Couldn't carry it by herself. So she stayed one more day. They gave her a ticket, didn't let her know. So she was arrested. She didn't make it to the court date, but she was arrested on it recently and then released. They literally arrested her on it, picked her up from Orlando, brung her to Lakeland, and released her the same day.
Okay.
So it's really just a ticket for just that she didn't know about.
All right, so you're not aware of any warrant or anything like that?
To my knowledge, she don't have no other warrants. That was the only issue right there, and it was literally a ticket.
Well, something's pending because it's flagging, but I don't know what it is. That's why I was asking. What's your position on this?
Judge, I don't have an issue with them having contact. He's indicated that he wants contact with her, and he indicated to me that this was not a situation that has happened before. In all candor to the court, I am seeing a failure to appear in the Polk County case, so I think that's why there's a hold on her, or
I don't think there's a hold, but
but
that's what's interesting about the
seeing a failure to
situation.
appear.
Okay. Mr. Rosa, is there anything you wish to place on the record?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Jewell, how long have you and Ms. Jackson been together?
2 years.
Okay. And the state attorney represented that you told her that there's never been any violence between you and...
No, this has never happened before. And honestly, like I said, the officers didn't ask me. I didn't request for her to be arrested. They just took it on their own free will to put her in handcuffs. I even begged them. I begged them at the scene to let her go.
Yeah, that's in the affidavit. I'm aware of that circumstance.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Yes.
Is there any, because like I said, we ain't got much money right now and no phone, so it's hard to get in contact. But is it, I mean, there's a good chance because I mean, I know y'all talking about like, this failure to appear or whatever, but if, she's released, will y'all let me know what's going on with it before I leave?
We don't know what's going on with it. That's why I was asking the questions that I was asking. So the best thing is if she is released, that means there's not a hold for her. So the best thing to do would be to get yourself.
Could you get her, I'm gonna go straight to the jail from here, but is there any way you can give her ROR? Since I'm choosing not to press charges and it's never happened before?
Well, I have to, I probably will do that, but here's the thing, you all need to get over to,
No, we will.
Polk County to get that taken care of.
Right away. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so, there is probable cause, as I said. It was clear that, Mr. Jewell did not want her to be arrested. He didn't have any visible injuries. Alcohol may have been a contributing factor, it said. Law enforcement officer did witness the incident. All right. Ms. Jackson, you don't qualify for direct non-monetary release because of the Polk County situation. Under the totality of the circumstances, though, I'm going to grant a release on your own recognizance with a couple of special conditions. Number one, you cannot possess any weapons or firearms. Number two, contact with Mr. Jewell must be non-hostile. All right? So any arguments would be a violation of that. Any pushing, shoving, things like that would be a violation of that. If anyone saw you doing those things, I would be able to revoke your ROR and hold you without bond. Okay? And as I was saying to Mr. Jewell, you should probably head to Polk County to address that situation before you have a formal hold, if you don't have one already, okay? All right, thank you. Well, Ms. Jackson, Mr. Jewell said he'll be headed to the jail soon, shortly. Okay, thanks, sir. All right, that concludes our docket, I believe. Anything else?
No, Judge, thank you.
Mr. Rosa, anything else?
Excuse me, Your Honor, one moment.
You need me to sign? So you didn't have to manage.
No, we've